Before the towering skyscrapers of glass and steel, before the neon lights of Times Square, and long before it was the capital of the world, there was only the wind, the water, and the woods. Imagine standing on a quiet, tidal shore in the year 1609. You are looking out at the mouth of a vast river. The land beneath your feet is known to the native Lenape people as Manhattan, the island of many hills. But out on the horizon, a ship approaches. It is Henry Hudson, an English explorer sailing for the Dutch. His arrival is quiet, unadorned, and yet it is the spark that will ignite centuries of ambition, conflict, and empire. This untouched wilderness is about to become a coveted frontier. Welcome to New York in the 1600s. By 1626, Dutch officials secured this island from the Lenape in a practical yet deeply misunderstood exchange of trade goods. They didn't just want a piece of land, they wanted a fortress of profit. They called it New Amsterdam. Building this settlement was a brutal, backbreaking nightmare. Settlers had to carve their homes out of the thick Manhattan forests using only hand axes. They dragged heavy logs through freezing mud to raise houses, warehouses, and palisades. The air was constantly thick with wood smoke, sweat, and the smell of raw earth. At the southern tip of the island, Fort Amsterdam slowly rose. It was a rough palisade of timber and earth serving as the colony's shield. From its ramparts, armed soldiers watched the shifting tides of the harbor, guarding the precious warehouses of the Dutch West India Company. It was a fragile foothold on the edge of a massive, terrifying continent. Inside these early Dutch homes, life was disciplined and intensely communal. A family's entire existence unfolded in a single, crowded room, warmed only by a brick hearth. Light barely filtered through the small windows. Mornings began before dawn, fueled by the smell of porridge and the relentless rhythm of survival mending nets, chopping firewood and salting meats for the brutal winters. But the rapid growth of this colony carried a very dark price. In 1655, the reality of New Amsterdam shifted. Enslaved Africans were brought into the harbor in growing numbers. Their forced labor became the invisible engine of the city, woven into the docks, the farms, and the households. Sold as property by the West India Company, they lived under harsh, brutal supervision. It was a quiet turning point, permanently fixing human bondage into the foundations of the city's economy. To protect their investment from Native American tribes and rival empires, the Dutch built a massive defensive wall across the northern edge of their settlement. I might know the path of this wooden barricade today. It is called Wall Street. But a wooden wall could not stop the turning tide of history. In 1664, massive English warships drifted into the harbor. Their heavy cannons were trained directly on Fort Amsterdam. Outnumbered, outgunned, and deeply divided, the Dutch settlement offered zero resistance. Without a single shot being fired, the colony surrendered. With a quiet stroke of a pen, New Amsterdam was erased. The city passed into English hands and was given a new name, New York. Though the Dutch briefly recaptured it years later, renaming it New Orange, diplomacy moved faster than cannons. By the late 1600s, the English grip was absolute. By the close of the century, New York was no longer a fragile outpost. It was a restless, growing metropolis. The great docks stretched deep into the East River, crowded with merchants, sailors, and barrels of sugar, furs, and tobacco. The streets were a chaotic blend of Dutch gables, English bricks, and a diverse population caught in the shifting loyalties of empire. The 1600s in New York were not defined by grand monuments, but by survival, exploitation, and raw ambition. Those muddy lanes and wooden palisades laid the very bedrock for the modern world's greatest city. The echoes of their heavy footsteps are still buried beneath the concrete of Manhattan today. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Let us know in the comments which lost era should we reconstruct next.